today's virtual program, Korea, the Land of Morning Calm. Mariya Fogarasi is here with us today to talk about why Korea is the land of morning calm. Mariya Fogarasi has spent most of her life overseas and enjoys sharing her experiences through lively PowerPoint presentations in local libraries. Mariya has lived in Korea for 4 years. She lived in 5 different countries, including Germany, on 4 different occasions for a total of 29 years, including and most recently 10 years in Berlin, where she hosted countless guests and loved giving city tours. She also served on the board of the Berlin Historical Association. After living in 5 countries for a total of 44 years, she returned to her native Michigan in 2016 and currently substitute teaches, writes, and continues to travel. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please use the chat or question answer feature to send it out, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. Here is Mariya now. I'll give it to her. Hello, Mariya. Please welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for your interest in Korea. I'm pleased to present the country to you. I was married, or I'm still married to my husband, who was a U.S. Foreign Service officer for many years. And we had been living in Berlin and were sent to Korea in 2006. And actually, it was interesting because at the end of the 4 years in Korea, we ended up going right back to Berlin. So it was very interesting in the sense that we went from a city and a country that had been divided, Berlin, Germany, to a country that's still divided now. My presentation is about Korea, meaning South Korea or the Republic of Korea. Every once in a while I get the question, did I live in the North or South? But you may know that US citizens are not permitted to live in North Korea, and it's also not advisable for us to travel there because if anything goes wrong, we have no diplomatic representation at all. And unfortunately, things can go wrong. Some of you may remember this tragic case of the University of Virginia student, Otto Warmbier, in the last 2 or 3 years. And so anyway, we're always talking about South Korea in my presentation. So I always start out with the flag of the country, which is called the Taegukgi, or the Koreans refer to it as their supreme ultimate flag. That's a real show of patriotism. And white, the background, traditionally the color of peace and purity, and also the traditional color of Korean garments in the old days. The middle section, Umyang, or the Chinese yin-yang, the cosmic forces in the universe, the red being the positive cosmic forces, the blue being negative, and then the trigrams are representing fundamental elements of movement and peace and harmony, and each of those bars stands for something different. So if I were standing in front of you in a library, this is what I would be looking like right now. I would be wearing a hanbok, which is the traditional Korean dress for women. This is not, Korea is an extremely modern and sophisticated country now, and you wouldn't see this anymore. You might see it at weddings or for the tourist industry. You'll see a couple of examples in my program of where you can rent a hanbok. But I was very fortunate within our U.S. Embassy family. The ambassador and his wife had been invited to participate in a talent show with other ambassadors, and they couldn't go, so they asked me, and I represented the United States. So consequently, this hanbok that was made for me has some red, white, and blue for the colors of the United States. And my contribution to the talent show was to recite the Emma Lazarus poem, The New Colossus, which it refers to the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor. So this is my hanbok. And going back for one moment of the nickname of Korea, the land of the morning calm, and how and why the country had this. So, and a couple of my slides, I have to give credit to the internet for some of these slides. So, land of the morning calm, let's go back